launch control. Is that on now? I think it is. Oh. God! Yeah, that was actually uncomfortable. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Electric Norwegian. I'm Mats. Today we're in probably one of the funniest cars I've driven in a long time. And I don't mean funny and stupid, I mean fun in great, good, hilarious fun and really in driver engagement. And one of the coolest cars right now, the Hyundai IONIQ M. This is going to be a slightly different video than the usual testing, driving around the normal test route I have, because we're going to have this car on exhibition tomorrow. Now we're on the motorway, just cruising, and these seats, these sports seats here, they're fantastically comfortable. I know I say, oh, I've driven sports cars, yeah, but that's 20 years ago now, almost, and might as well be in the last century, because this thing here, it has a trillion different settings, and you can adjust suspension because it has active suspension, and the limited slip diff on the rear, and it has drift mode and track mode, and it's just a lot of stuff. Or you can just push this boost mode here, the big red button, and it just goes like a stabbed rat. You have 650 horses and God knows how many newton meters in this thing, so it's really quick. Is it the most energy efficient Hyundai in the world? No.
Is it the cheapest?
No. No. But it's the funniest, and it's actually funnier than a lot of other cars. I mean, you can think this is just a gimmick with a gear change. But it works really, really well when you're on it. You don't think of it. It's a 2.3 ton car, but it's really well set up. Yes, a Model 3 Performance is cheaper than this. But the Model 3 Performance, albeit in no doubt is a brilliant car, this is more, if you like to drive cars, I mean, traditionally, this is actually a fossil-fueled sports car simulator. That's what it is, and it's a really, really, really good one. It's really good fun. If you don't want that, then you can just buy a Hyundai IONIQ 5. The wheel-mounted gear pedals work really well. Normally they're here for region, and I do wish it was like maybe you can have a selection. You can choose if you wanted a V8 or a V10 or a V12 or whatever. This is just the sound of Hyundai's own turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder from the i30N or whatever, one of their end cars. And yeah, okay, it sounds okay, but given the incredible power of this thing, you do want something more sounding. But hey, that's how it is. By the way it looks, I like the color, and I have all this orange contrast. Huge diffuser back there. Big brakes, more contrasting. And I like this blue as well. It kind of it just suits the car, and it's enough of the contrasty colors and stuff that it looks different without screaming and shouting about it. And it is, of course, a Hyundai IONIQ. It just looks cool. And hello, Robert. These seats, proper sports seats here. How do you find them?
Supportive.
That's good. And you have your engine temperature. This is your boost mode, and you have your noises. You can toggle through them if you want to. This is sort of the best one, I think. And then of course you have now wireless CarPlay. Finally, thank you Hyundai. And you have your average stuff here, your maps, and then settings, and here. And this is where you can go completely. There's so much stuff here to delve into and to adjust. Of course, you have your buttons here for your shortcuts, and then you have your climate controls down here, which is, I don't really like it because it's not physical buttons, it's just another panel of soft buttons and touch buttons. But that's how it is. And your on off, of course, and the sound of the doors as well. It's properly well thought out, this. Rear seats. Standard thing of moving them to different settings and stuff. See if they're different than average. It's plenty of space, but I sit a little bit low in them, I think. My knees. But the Alcantara, they're heated, of course. Simple plain with cup holders, but it works. Twin climate controls. No, wait, no. Yeah, climate controls in the B pillar. Of course, you have there your heated seat buttons, and also your blinds. That's nice, particularly on a day like today. We're here in this beautiful place in Halden. It's slightly windy outside, and here you can hear it, the rumbling of the engine. Tire mobility kit. There's a bit of space back here. It's alright, adequate. That's nice. You put your hand here, you can feel it's actually vibrating. They could have just done the easy thing. Put in a speaker, some sound, and a pair of snappy pedals, and said, "Look, here you have a gearbox," and that's the easy bit. They haven't done that. They've done this properly. The noise and the sense of speed and the power delivery and all of that is so well mapped to your... Yeah, a Kia EV6. It's so well mapped to your throttle input. And then you just forget that this isn't a gasoline engine hooked up to an 8-speed DSG box or whatever, an 8-speed Borg Warner box or whatever the one is called that everybody's been using for 10 years now. It's an EV, but because it's all so they've gone to the nth degree of level of detail here. The input you give the car through your foot is so well balanced with the power, and it's just so well executed. And then you do steering, and it's really a fun car. It gives you so much, because it gives you so much feedback, even though it's fake. It's a simulation. It's not real. Your stupid caveman brain forgets that and then pretends that it's real. Now it's just an electric car that happened to be very, very quick, and the pedals has become regen pedals, as they always are. And then you have the two end buttons on the steering wheel are completely adjustable. You can map them to do different. They do different things. One of them goes through the sounds, and the other one goes through different modes. Of course, consumption is, well, somewhere around 300. Now we're doing 260 watt hours, which is perfectly fine. We're just cruising, really, mostly downhill. It's a nice firm suspension, this, and unlike the old Model 3s, which was firm and crashy, this is very refined and quite nice actually. It's firm, but it's not uncomfortable. On a hot day like today with 30 degrees outside, it's been very nice to have cooled seats. And I've never driven the Hyundai IONIQ 5 before. I've driven the IONIQ 6, but never the 5, not properly. And yeah, it's really nice. Of the only thing is, that's a lot of people have said this, and it is a lot of faffing around on the screen. There's a lot of stuff here you can punch and do and adjust, and it has drift modes and launch controls and all sorts of things, but then most of them involve a pop-up screen with a lot of conditions. So there's a lot of conditioning and stuff to do to make this thing work and to do all the things you can do in it, because the car is very capable. And in drift mode it isn't forward drive anymore. You lose a few hundred horses, which sounds terrible, but you just only have 400 or 450 horses from the rear motor. And then you can do drifting, and it's apparently quite good at it as well. Imagine an IONIQ 6M. The IONIQ 6 slightly looks like a Porsche from behind, and then you can give it this treatment. That would be a hoot. And it's a saloon, so it will be even easier to make to adjust and tune in and make it just behave properly. You head-up display, your wireless charging and stuff, and your wireless Android Auto finally. So things have happened. I do love this color combination as well. It's really, really sweet. We had a slow cruise from Sweden and home. I don't think this is the most long-range EV in the world. I've said it before and I can say it again. I think Tesla are among the only ones that can do really, really fast cars and still make them very energy efficient, because the Model S Plaid can poodle about at doing 130 watt hours, which is shocking. But of course, the Tesla, none of them actually, even if the new Model 3 Performance is properly well sold to the car. I will give it a test with it. It's probably arrives around here in not too long. You can say, well, the noise and the simulated gearbox is a gimmick. Yes, it is a gimmick, but it's a damn good one. It's sort of, in many ways, dominates the driving experience. Or you can just turn it off, and what you have is a very, very competent car. Very, very fast car. Very competent. And the nice thing about driving fast electric cars, I mean, if this had been a petrol engine, everybody would have heard you coming. And this, no one hears anything. Just wish we had. Oh, Jesus. Wish we had other noises than the four-pot, but we don't. Does do a properly good job though of simulating one. And then now it just poodles around doing its own gear changes. If I just have a gentle throttle input, it works like an auto, and it changes its own gears. But if I'm more aggressive, it locks down the gear and doesn't change up. That's clever. But that's nice, because if you're poodling around in town and running it in combustion engine mode, then you don't have to get stuck in first gear or something. Like the singing the song, you're always stuck in second gear. No, this isn't. No, it's in fourth and fifth. Let's see if we can pass that Maxus, shall we? Just said it wasn't the quietest car in the world, but it's quiet enough that you can do proper speeds, and if you're not careful because you don't really notice it. You think you're doing. It's a bit like the old Porsche I had and several other high-speed, proper, well-sorted cars that can go quickly and are made to go fast. They just camouflage 20, 30 kilometers an hour of their speed, so you think you're doing 70, you're doing 80 or whatever, and you're not. You're doing 100 or 110. It's little things that the jerks on the downshift, for instance, and the pops of the exhaust, and it's this little tiny details. And I'm sorry I don't talk too much about the rest of the car. It's a Hyundai IONIQ 5. I mean, the rest of the car is good. Screen is now better. It's a very good car for the money. If you don't want a Tesla Model Y, buy this one. But this is a performance EV, and it's probably the only performance EV that, as Dr. Muro just said, has really, if you're a petrol head, and I've always said that the electric cars are great fun. Oh yes, they are, and they can be slide around, and you can drift them, and you can really hoon about in them. I just did that in my Model S all winter, just turned off traction control, and just great fun. It's quick, alright. And then just progressive power feeding in of power and stuff. And you can just do this. And now it's just a very quick EV. And the whole illusion went away. Like a ghost, like a mirage. That's what I should have called this. I should have called it the IONIQ 5 Mirage. It's not just another fast EV. It's more than that. They've actually redefined. Because now you really can have your cake and eat it. Apart from the consumption numbers, though, mind you. If you drive any fast EV fast, it will consume more energy. The problem with the IONIQ 5 is that it isn't very efficient at high speeds, which is slightly ironic given that it is a performance car. But anyway, it is what it is. The boost mode is slightly gimmicky, because just give me full power when I put it in sport mode, but whatever, it's there. But these big fat steering wheels that BMW and Tesla has had for a long time now, I've never really gotten friends with them. This is a nice little rim, but not too fat, not too big. But the boost mode, and then Lord above. Okay, it is fast. I mean, properly quick, and that was actually uncomfortable. Jesus Christ! Because it is devouring power now, mind you. Brake pedal here is very, very firm. There's no dead pedal traveling. There's nothing. It just instantly reacts to what you're. All the input mechanisms here, brakes, throttle, steering. It's just properly well done. There's no slack anywhere, really. Particularly in the brakes, because often brakes are a little bit spongy, and maybe it's particularly on EVs if you haven't managed to do the blending properly. This is just very. It's a hard pedal, but it instantly tells you something is happening. This clearly shows that the Koreans can make properly good performance cars. It's an experience. Like I say, a fast car is a fast car, but if you want an experience, this is a better experience than many other EVs, just exactly because that if you want the experience of driving, you don't want to drive, and if you want the experience of having a drive, you know. And this is it. the manual gearbox is point of engagement. And let's face it, most performance cars have had flappy pedal box now for the last 20 years. Anyway, so it's not like it's a big loss or anything. If you want a manual, buy an old Porsche or a Mazda MX-5 or an RX-8 or whatever. You know, you have to go old school for that. They have a proper one without turbos and the electronics and stuff. It's a different story. That's what this sort of tries to recreate. Is it perfect? No. But for a first try, it's damn well executed, and it's definitely for effort, this one. Thank you to Brennes Auto for lending me the car, and thank you for watching. I hope you like, comment, subscribe, all the stuff, and take care. I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.